Nerd trainer out there who's like trying to overcomplicate the simplest things in bodybuilding to make themselves sound like they're so fucking enlightened because they're explaining things in such detail and like, you know, if I set my angle of my humerus here and I'm sitting on my left rib, my left third rib, like. I don't know the science-based guys. Any top three you choose. Tell me if you would describe their physique as excellent, average, or mediocre. And where would you put them in that? I guarantee it's not in excellent. It's somewhere in the middle, right? Science guys really need to answer this question before anything. Why is it that you remain so mediocre, yet you know so much?
I know I don't need to respond to this, but since he asked, using science-based training, I won Natural Bodybuilding Nationals. I earned my pro card on the most competitive stage in the World Natural Bodybuilding Federation. I placed second in my first bodybuilding pro show, and while doing this, I set the Canadian record on the bench press, and I set a provincial record on the squat. I currently weigh 180 pounds at 5'5" tall, which is pretty close to my natural limit given my height and my genetics. That's all besides the point though, because facts are facts.
And so let's first by looking at what Jeff said. Hear what Mike did to me. And so the response, what did he do? I saw your IG reel. Tried to kill me. I'm at the hospital now. Damaging. I am okay, but we're checking for internal damage. He hit me with the cap locks on, HARD, harder than freaking last time. He hit me hard, holy Turk. And of course the response, what? Like, is this real life? Is this a movie?
There's quite a drama going on in the bodybuilding world right now. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen these videos popping up on Instagram. Now, we're about to take a quick dive into
caught in 4K being assaulted by Mike Van Wyck. It's gonna go crazy in bold letters when it drops.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are wondering, you guys probably have a lot of questions wondering who are these people, what happened, blah, 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 blah. So first, in order for you guys to understand exactly what transpired here, you guys first of all need to know who these characters are. So on one hand, we have this guy named Jeff Nippard. He's a science-based guy. He's actually really big on YouTube and stuff like that, and he offers really good advices. And on the other hand, you have another dude also here. He's an icon, but he's not as big as the other guy, the science-based dude, but he's pretty big on his own too. Now, they are two different distinct characters. One is like 5'5", that being the science dude, and then the other dude is like a huge dude, bro. He's like 6 foot, whatever. All jacked up, he's on drugs, right? All tattooed up. Like, look at him, bro. It's a huge difference, right? This dude attacked the science-based guy right at the gym, right? Mind you, this is all over online beef. The big dude here, Mike, whatever, he's pretty pissed off because of this whole science things. He thinks they're all scammers and stuff, right? So he had made a video. Basically, he's just bashing all these science-based dudes, right? And the way they're making videos, the way they're explaining forms, you know, how to train and this and that, how to put on mass, blah, 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 blah. And he's basically critiquing my dude here, right? Which is Jeff Nippard, right? Jeff knows his shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That dude's, bro, I think he has like PhDs and stuff. He knows what he's talking about. If you watch a lot of his videos, man, and you need explanations on any muscle group or whatever, this is the guy to go to, man. Right? He looks like he's been researching this for a minute, so he knows what he's talking about. But the one thing you gotta realize about him is he's a natural, all-time natural, and he just takes pride in that, right? And he's really strong, and he has made a lot of accomplishments. If you know, you know, right? Now this other dude here basically just hates on him and hates on the fact that this guy makes those kind of videos and he's all like science-based and try to overcomplicate things when they should just be simple. I mean, which kind of makes sense, right? Like, sometimes, bro, like, some things are so simple, they don't need to be over-explained with a lot of, like, formulas and stuff. Now, but the way the guy went on about it, was that the right thing? Hell no, bro. It wasn't. It's just a difference between opinions. Now, we gotta see this video first.
Fucking nerd trainer out there who's, like, trying to overcomplicate the simplest things in bodybuilding to make themselves sound like they're so fucking enlightened, or they know so much more than everybody. Because they're explaining things in such detail and like, you know, if I set my angle of my humerus here and I set my ulna here and then I'm sitting on my left rib, my left third rib, like, it's like shit like that. It's like, guys, just tell people how to set up. But you see these people, I'll do it on this arm, I guess. You see these people, like, they'll do drag curls. There's nothing wrong with drag curls. The mechanics of a drag curl are fine. I'm just gonna squeeze up and I'm gonna rock and I'm gonna go down. But then you get these guys who do this. They go, and they're squeezing the fuck out of the top range. They're holding here, and then they're like this. Like at no point am I feeling that on my bicep. I'm feeling it all on my front delt, my hand being pulled. I'm stopping my hand. Hello, the science-based guys. Any top three you choose. Tell me if you would describe their physique as excellent, average, or mediocre. And where would you put that in that? I guarantee it's not in excellent. It's somewhere in the middle, right? Science guys really need to answer this question before anything. Why is it that you remain so mediocre, yet you know so much? Because if I knew a lot of shit, I would be very well versed and good at that topic, right? Like say I was some financial wizard. I knew how to like read the stock market and I'm like, I can see investments and like I can see what businesses are going to succeed. I'd be fucking rich, right? People would be like, yeah, he's a fucking genius because like, look at him, he applied it and it fucking worked. Bodybuilding, you can be like this big or this short in some cases, maybe this short in other cases. It's always short though, no taller than Bassett. Somehow you're an expert on muscle, but you don't have any. And if you do have any, it's not that well put together and there's a lot of like holes in the physique and you've prided yourself on being strong. Fucking little, but I'm strong. Fucking stronger than you, dude. It's like, strong doesn't matter. You still are trying to squat 6 plates. I'm not squatting 6 plates. My legs are still bigger than yours. Sadly, you do need to apply what it is that you know for people to trust you. But they got these fucking nerds or these fucking dorks. They try and prove themselves in shows and they come in like fucking last. There's a lot of scammers, if you guys know, in like the day trading world. Anyone who's a day trader or a fucking Bitcoin guy, fucking buying and selling Ethereum or whatever and all this shit, and like they're day traders sitting in front of things and they're like gonna guess the trends. Those guys are all fucking bullshit artists, guys. Run from them. Those guys are the guys I'm talking about in the fitness world.
So this is the original video. I mean, after watching this, a few things we can take away from it is like, yeah, he has a point. It makes sense, right? Like, basically, to simplify it, it's like, if you know so much, how come you're not the definition of what you're preaching, kind of thing, right? But there's a lot of factors and variables that go in it, right? Like, for example, this guy, right, he's all juiced up. He's using all kind of drugs. And the other dude, he's natural, right? So there's only so far his body can go. Whereas this guy, yeah, he's huge and all, got all big muscles peaking like mountain peaks and all, but he's on drugs. So of course, I mean, even if you don't know what's 1 + 1, as long as you go on drugs, bro, you're gonna be huge, no matter what, right? Whereas the other dude, he knows so much, but he ain't as big as this dude is because he ain't using drugs. He's natural. If he used drugs, of course, the answer would be different. He'd be like probably as big as you, but he ain't on that. Right, so that's simply put, that's what it is. Now, let's go to the reply. We gotta check out his reply, right? So this guy is a mic dude, right? This is a guy that went all aggressive on the other guy he's bashing, right? So
science-based guys. Science guys really need to answer this question before anything. Why is it that you remain so mediocre, yet you know so much?
I know I don't need to respond to this, but since he asked, using science-based training, I won natural bodybuilding nationals. I earned my pro card on the most competitive stage in the World Natural Bodybuilding Federation. I placed second in my first bodybuilding pro show, and while doing this, I set the Canadian record on the bench press, and I set a provincial record on the squat. I currently weigh 180 pounds at 5 foot 5 inches tall, which is pretty close to my natural limit given my height and my genetics. That's all besides the point though, because facts are facts. Information is either right or wrong. It doesn't matter who that information is coming from. If the people with the best physiques had the most knowledge, why would C-Bum need a coach? He has the best physique on the planet. Who could possibly know more than him? Well, it's pretty obvious that bodybuilding success comes from great genetics and really hard training, and if you want to make it in the IFBB, steroid use. I like science because it gives me more confidence in what actually works and what doesn't, because it isolates variables. If you trust a big guy's advice over scientific studies, that doesn't bother me. I listen to what big guys have to say too.
bam, he nailed him, right? He shut him down with that. I like that explanation, man. It's not aggressive whatsoever, man. Matter of fact, it's very grown up. It's very mature of him, you know? And he did bring case studies, such as he set in world records. He won bodybuilding show, and he's all natural, and he's 5'5", 180 pounds.
Jeff literally set Canadian bench press records in powerlifting and was a national champion in bodybuilding. And last I checked, and I have still defended him to this day, Jeff is 100% natural. And so when he doesn't make gains, is it in fact because he doesn't know how to train, because he's a science-based trainer, or is it because bro isn't blasting hella gear? Mike Van Wyck, who stands over 6 feet tall and formerly was over 300 pounds as an IFBB Pro professional bodybuilder, certainly hasn't been natural. And so why do you think he's made all those gains? Do you think he just knows so much more about training than Jeff Nippard? Or do you think it might be because he took more steroids than last time? And so last I checked, Jeff Nippard, he's still a manlet. He's what, 5'5", 180 pounds? And in comparison, Mike Van Wyck, He's way bigger than this guy. Over 6 feet tall and much bigger. And so, in my opinion, it's not even a fair fight.
Bro, kudos, give it to him, you know. Simply put, he shut him off with that, right? It makes sense, answers the question. Now, I can only imagine the other guy probably got pissed off this response, bro. He was probably trying to get under his skin, right? So this response must have irritated him, and that's what must have caused him to basically assault him at the gym, which he had no right to do. You know what I'm saying? It's just a difference of opinions, you know? I don't know why he got so triggered, but it's ridiculous. Ridiculous, I tell you.
I've just seen this. Out of all the guys that Mike could have chosen to assault, he chose Jeff, possibly the nicest guy in the whole industry.
Jeff Nippard was attacked and assaulted and put into hospital after making a video. A video where Mike, and no, it's not Mike Israetel, Mike Van Wyck, was talking about how nerds, the guys who talk about the science, that they haven't made the gains that they're expecting. And so Mike essentially called out Jeff Nippard, said, why is this guy not making any progress? If he knew what he was talking about, why isn't he getting so much better? Why doesn't he have an IFBB Pro card? Why is he being stagnant in his gains? And so I don't care what the person said or what kind of beef you have with somebody. You don't go and assault that person just because you don't agree with something. Jeff Nippard had every right to record the video that he made upon watching Mike Van Wyck call him out. Jeff Nippard made a very level-headed response. He didn't call him a name. He didn't make fun of him. He didn't do anything. He simply said, this is what I've done. These are my accomplishments. This is why I am what I am. And this is why I believe what I believe in. I personally love the message. Loved this video. I even wrote a comment on his wall. Great answer. Happy to see he actually addressed this.
So, as you just saw, Mike Van Wyck just assaulted Jeff Nippard in the gym in the middle of the day, seemingly...
And for you guys who don't know who this is another big influencer out there in the fitness community. His name is Brandon Hardbody.
For no other reason than social media beef. Now this surprises me because I know Mike personally and I know Jeff personally. We trained at the same gym for about 3 to 4 years. And for those of you who don't know, Mike Van Wyck essentially started off being Drake's bodyguard. Very used to like physical altercations. But to take that into the gym against another fitness creator who also has a platform and respectfully is a really nice guy. I've had many conversations with Jeff and he's always got the time of day for people that follow him and other members of the gym. Now I'd like to believe there's a lot more to this than it seems.
I like what he said, man. He nailed it down. I think basically there's more into the story than what we're getting, but I mean, from what we see, it's kind of childish, man, to literally go out to a person and punch him just because you feel like they overthrown your opinion or something, or what they said on their video on social media irked you, and like, that's ridiculous. You know, you should have just taken it with a grain of salt. Just, you know, walk it out.
Because obviously some grown man going up to another grown man in the gym and pushing him by his throat is never okay by any means, especially not just social media beef. But the fact that this did happen and someone had a camera there to record it, there might have been conversation or argument happen way before this to yield someone pulling out a camera thinking something may happen. Now seeing this on social media disappoints me a lot because Mike is also, in my opinion, a really nice guy. I've had many conversations with him. I've trained with him on multiple occasions, even helped me at the back of one of my preps years ago. Obviously the guy looks like someone you don't really want to mess with, but just because you look like a certain stereotype doesn't mean you need to lean into that, especially in public. People that are quite young training that gym, elderly women training that gym, and they want to feel safe when they go to the gym. They don't need to be around violence. They go there to become better and be better. And in my opinion, if you're going to act in such a way, you tap Jeff on the shoulder, say, bro, let's go talk outside, and take it to the parking lot, not where everyone else is, because that is disrespectful to everyone else around you. And it does show that your sense of reality is becoming slightly warped about what is acceptable and what's not.
That's another thing too, guys. It kind of makes sense. If this guy was already like a bodyguard and all, and he was used to dealing with physical confrontation and all, it makes sense why he would result into this. But I mean, it's not okay. It's not warranted. And matter of fact, if you really want to be a fighter, you really want to be punching people out, I think you should go to the sport that does that exactly, which is like MMA and all, right? UFC, come on, go do that type of you shouldn't be doing this at the gym, man. At the end of the day, everybody's there to improve, right? And what's there to say that science is not helping people out there understand more about muscles, right? Because you got to realize whether one guy is science-based, and then the other guy is more like logical reasoning and all, true science kind of thing, like no base science type like straight to the point kind of guy. What's there to say that you don't have different kind of people that absorb information differently, right? Like, I'm sure the science guy is probably helping people out there too understanding information. Like, there's probably other people that understand things in science-based form, and then there's other people that don't or can't relate with science at all, and they like things straight to the point. So I mean, I think as long as both of you are helping the world, there's no problem. As long as both of you are making a difference in people's lives, there is no problem. I don't know why you guys are beefing over nonsense, right? And on top of that, you automatically lost when you decided to go physical, right? When you decided to put your hands on the other dude. Come on, my guy. This looks way worse on you. And on top of that, this guy's half your size, half your weight. This does not make you look cool whatsoever. This is actually bad press. So this is a negative gym culture that needs to end, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are all in the same environment for the same goal, right? Building muscle, being healthy, or not, right? Because some people are blasting a lot of gear, enough to kill a horse in 2 seconds. So I mean, that's not healthy whatsoever. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're there for the muscles, man. You're there for the weights, right? You're there to exercise. You should have kept it at that. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is, man. That's the video, guys. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what y'all thought about this whole situation. Who do you think is on the right and who do you think is on the wrong? All right, I'm gonna leave it at that. Catch you on the next one. Peace.